also have a short Q&A session, so you have the chance to ask your questions directly. With that being said, let's warmly welcome Ms. Trishla Vats. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. We are truly excited and want to learn more from you. Thank you. You can take the meet from now on.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Krishna. Can some of you just put a thumbs up and let me know if you can hear me and see me all right? Okay, perfect. Thanks, Aditya. Right. I think Sri Krishna gave a good introduction for myself. So, I'm Trishla, was like a student at NITT Trichy 4 years ago. Worked for 2 years, then joined MBA at IIM Kozhikode, and currently I'm the associate consultant at Bain& Company. So I'm not sure what is the current scene at NITT Trichy in terms of hiring and placements, and I don't know if Bain comes there. Oh, thanks for turning on your video. I would appreciate some of you to just turn on your videos. It'll be great to just see that, okay, I'm talking to people and not just, screens. Um, Right. I'll quickly, how I would like to go about today's session is I'll talk you through what consulting is because me, when I was in my second year, third year, I was not extremely well aware of what this professional field looks like and what career path you could make in this field as well, which is why I think I started this journey quite late. With Thorogood, I was into technology and data consulting, but I never knew that there was this, management and strategy consulting world that exists. So that awareness came to me quite late. So, in a way, I am glad that I can bring this opportunity to you guys right now when you are, shaping your career right at the start. I'll bring up my screen. Let me know once you can see it, and then we can take it from there. Do you see my PPT in PPT mode, guys?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay, perfect. So let's talk consulting. What do I mean by consulting? At any point, feel free to just unmute yourself and tell me what do you feel is consulting apart from problem solving? Okay, I gave the answer, guys. I'm sorry, but okay. What comes to your mind when you think about the word consulting? Anybody? The first point about consulting is you need to speak up. So,
It's like giving advice to companies.
okay. And what kind of advice?
Like
That depends
solving the
upon what the
problems.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Correct. More or less there. So, if you ask any person to explain consulting in layman terms, they will say solving problems or what is a skill that you need to have for consulting? It's um, problem solving. But what is essentially this problem solving? And is consulting all about problem solving or there's more to it? So, in my opinion, whatever experience that I have, yes, it is problem solving, but it comes with a bunch of other things combined. So who are you solving this problem for? You're solving this problem for the CEOs of the company, say massive MNCs, some crazy big uh, private equity, venture capitalist firms who are out there. You're solving their CEOs are struggling to solve a problem, which is why they have come to you to help them. So it's like a big stake. It's a very high stake environment, consulting. So you crack very tough business problems. It's not just random cat level problem solving. It's actually value add problem solving, which brings me to the second point. They are high impact projects. These projects actually affect lives or day-to-day workings of people or how somebody looks at their job. So this is not like some small thing that you're doing. It's a very high impact. If done right, your project will create a very high impact. And you work across multiple industries. I'll talk about my experience more when I'll cover the industry that I work in. And then there are a lot of challenges as well. Like every industry has a different kind of challenge. Say a tech firm will have a different challenge from, say, a factory or a manufacturing firm. So they are very high impact problems. And to talk in, say, engineering lingo, Imagine a consulting team like a hackathon team. You're given a problem, you have time crunch, and that you have to solve it in the best possible way and come out to be, one of the solution or the differentiated solution in that manner. So it's a very high stake environment. But the perks here is also that you really get to talk to the C-suite of the company, the CEOs, CFOs, CTOs of big companies when you are, say, in your early or late 20s, depending on when you enter the journey. So this essentially is all that I feel consulting is and can give you. But then that also brings me to the next question is to, okay, this is all right, but why should engineers go into consulting? Would any of you have any thoughts or inputs for me as to why engineering plus consulting is a very good combination? Or if
Ma'am,
it's
I
not,
would
you can call
say
it out like it's not a good combination as well.
I would say engineering is a field where we learn about a lot of information that goes into, solving the everyday problems in the world. And like you had previously specified, consulting is
Mm-hmm.
all about problem solving. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that will translate really well. So I'm a chemical engineer, and although I'm not learning about the other disciplines, but let's
Mm-hmm.
say any chemical company that is coming, actually taken a look at Bain and Co's site as well, and they had a sector where chemicals is written. So I feel like I could translate my skills well over there. So that's why I feel like
Exactly.
engineers go
Mm-hmm.
for it.
Yep, yep. Fairly point. Anybody else with who has some other example or who would like to negate this statement that engineers are not suited for consult or are suited for consulting?
They will be comparatively better at problem solving compared to, because like 11th and 12th fully they were like they will solve problems. I
Mm-hmm.
guess I'm not, so maybe that will help in consulting, because consulting essentially like problem is there and you also have to try and optimize it or whatever. I'm not sure.
No, makes sense. Absolutely. Thanks for putting that point out. So exactly to combine all of these points, why engineers should consider consulting. First of all of us are very analytical in our brains. Maths is like blood in our body. You can't let go of maths at any point. Logic, data, these are very ingrained to us. Maybe by the nature of the grooming that we have had in 11th and 12th, or maybe the way the courses are structured at Trichy, especially Trichy. I don't know. It's just that you look for logic and pattern and everything, which is a very important point when it comes to problem solving, right? Another thing is all of us are very hungry for, fast growth and, how can I get to the top at the fastest way or, how can I achieve the maximum in the least amount of time? So consulting offers you the fastest learning curve. By learning curve, I do not mean your promotion cycles and how you progress in your career, but also in terms of there'll be new projects every few months. So you're not stuck with one project, say for 3 years, so that you're only learning about that particular field in those 3 years. Um, Currently, I change projects every month or so. So I cover like 3, 4 industries. I've already covered 3, 4 industries in the past few months. So you get to know surface level about different industries. So very fast learning curve. And then the impact and variety, I think we've already spoken about the impact that it creates. You're talking some real world big problems that, if not solved, would create chaos in the world. And especially in a populous country like India, a tech driven and cell phone driven country like India. So, and there's variety in here. Um, so before this, I was in my job, I was in data and analytics consulting, which was primarily, I'm from civil. I have no coding background. So at this job, there was still heavy amount of coding. It was just SQL, Python, R, excuse me. But still, there was like sufficient amount of coding for somebody who had no coding background. So if somebody who's not looking to enter into that field, sure, you don't have coding. You can code to pressure test your solutions, but you are basically driving change, away from the screen at the grassroots level. So there's impact, there's variety here. And of course, this offers a great career path for you. You can exit from consulting to startups, you can go into products, you can go into policy formation, you can go into finance, you name it, they want you. So These are the four things which I feel would relate to all of you the most. There might be thousand other reasons why one should consider consulting, but as an engineer, and since I know the culture of Trichy, so these are the four things that I think top the list of all the things that should be done. Right. We can do a quick Q&A right now in case you guys have questions. Otherwise, what I thought was I can walk you through how the interview process and how does a consulting environment actually look like. So let me know if you have any questions. In case not, I'll go ahead with an actual case solving. I'll tell you more about how to get into these roles. Okay, I'll take that as no questions as of now. Right. So, talking about my journey, I entered into consulting after my MBA. So, to enter into any consulting firm, you need to crack case interviews. I don't know if you guys have already heard about it or Sigma does workshops to talk about cases, but it'll be great if you guys do that. So, there are something known as case interviews, which is basically I'll be your client, you are my consultant, I'll throw a problem statement at you, and I'll see how you react to it and how you solve it to completion. Hmm. Now, the only thing that I have in mind is we are talking about the problem and the solution. There are no boards involved here, there are no papers involved here. So, you have to communicate the solution to me in a structured manner so that I understand it. This is typically how a case interview for any of the consulting firms go. So I thought I'll do a case with you guys. It'll be great if some of you could participate. Um, could some of you maybe say yes? I can't see you because I'm presenting on the screen.
Yeah,
But
sure.
does that work for you all?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Sure, man.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Let me throw a question at you all then. Um, so your client is the Education Ministry of Rajasthan, and they have hired you to improve the Rajasthan State Board results for the students of standard 10th and 12th. So, so I am the Education Ministry of Rajasthan. I'm some minister sitting there, and I have come to you all asking that you have to improve this state board results for standard 10th and 12th. Now you decide how you have to help me, right? So I would urge all of you to take like proper 30 seconds to think about all the questions that you want to ask me first, and then we'll go about cracking this case. And at any point, if any of you have questions that you can ask me as your client, feel free to unmute yourself and ask, and I'll give you data accordingly.
How much funding do you have?
Say that funding is not an issue here. It's not relevant for the case. There is enough funding. Despite that, the results are not good.
Fine. Does Rajasthan have a separate board, or is it part of CBSE or
No, it's a separate state board.
separate state board? Fine.
Yep. Others, any question? Like when I think of it this way, when you hear this problem statement, what are the missing data points that you do not know about right now? And ask me those data points or any information.
What are the number of schools right now and the number of students enrolled?
We can take around 1,000 odd schools, and very good question there, right there. So, Rajasthan State Board is only taught in public schools. So, we are not considering the private schools here at all. So, there are around 900 public schools there, and number of students is really not relevant because we have enough enrollment in all the schools.
Okay.
What is the average teacher to student ratio?
That is also 20:1, which is also good. No complaints there.
Fine. And then what is the average qualification of a teacher who's teaching for
Mm-hmm.
10?
Yeah, all of them have the Bachelor in Education degree. They've been trained well, and all of them have 5+ years of experience. So no quality side issue per se.
How is the infrastructure in all of the public schools?
Top notch. The government is doing crazy well.
Oh, then it's
What's the
a
current
problem on
performance
the
of the school
students.
students
Sorry,
over
sorry,
there?
sorry.
The
One
guidance
person
pretty
at
good.
a time. Go on. One person, please.
Then it's a problem on the students. They didn't study well, I guess.
Mm, allegations, but okay. Um, since you have that
Can you
point there,
specify like what's the attendance ratio for the schools?
great point again. Attendance ratios have been okay. However, since the student's point was mentioned by the person before you, the students are themselves studying, but they have complained that the teachers are not able to finish the syllabus on time and they do not have enough time for full syllabus practice papers.
Is this an issue that is specific to one subject, or it's a general complaint?
It's a general complaint.
So there could be two possibilities. So that like the teachers' qualifications aren't that good, and they are taking the subject in the slow pace, or else like the syllabus imposed to the state board should be higher. So the two there can be two problems between the ways here. So what's the case going on?
Sorry, those are the two problem statements. But solving a case means suggesting solutions, no?
Like
I,
yeah, I just wanted to ask what's the scenario.
right, like I mentioned, students have complained that the teachers are not able to finish the syllabus on time, which is why they don't get enough time to practice full syllabus test papers.
How long is the school hours?
The school hours are 8 to 5, 8 to 4, but not relevant here.
Like, is the school year different from other schools? Like, do they start later or do they end earlier? Or do they like let students go in the middle? Like, is that the reason why they're not unable to complete the syllabus?
No, I think all the public schools follow the same timings because they are government regulated.
The classes being conducted regularly, like the teachers are present, students are present, and like the communication is happening regularly.
Yeah, there have been no reports per se. Why don't we pivot towards we know what the problem is, right? Now that the syllabus is not being completed on time, even though the teachers are qualified, right? And the second is they're not getting enough full-length test papers. So, given that I've given you these two, broken the main problem into these 2 points, can you guys suggest me how should we approach this problem and what should be the solution? Don't jump at it right now. Think for 30 seconds, structure it, and give me the high level points for it.
And are the
Also,
syllabus used when compared to the other boards?
no, no, no. It's just maybe a little more in depth, or maybe languages are there, but it's not the difficulty or burden of the syllabus. It's more like the pace at which the teaching is happening.
Do they do well in the practice tests that they are the not the full length test, but then the part test? Do they do well in that, or how do they do in that?
Very good question. I do not have data on that. Sorry.
Fine, fine.
Okay, just another pointer since none of you mentioned that till now. The problem statement on the screen says they want to improve the results for the students. What does that mean? How do they want to see the improved result? Do they want to see a higher, say, topper percentage, or do they want to see a higher number of people who have passed overall, say 70% students passed this year? What is the metric here? Since none of you asked, that's the very first question to ask. What does results mean? Right? How do you want to see next year if we do something, if we implement some changes, how will you measure that yes, this year they have done better? So to give you all that information, this year the past
And your mic is muted.
Can you all hear now? Right. Okay. I'll bring the solution up later. Can you all think about the solutions now? Were you guys able to hear what I was saying with respect to the problem statement?
Can you
Around
just
the
pardon,
metric
like what you
part,
said?
we got cut off.
Around the
Metric part, like you were explaining the metric for the results that they're trying to.
correct, yes. So the metric for the results that they are trying to measure as to say, suppose if we go and implement something, how are they going to check next year that okay, the performance was really better this year? So what they're going to use is pass percentage, right? Pass percentage means number of students who have passed this year out of the total number of students who were there. So that was pretty low this year, which is what they're planning to increase next year. Now, given all
And then
this
was it
context,
one,
mhm,
like was the pass percentage low only one last year, or was it low for all of the past few years?
let's say cumulatively for the past couple of years, it's been dwindling.
It's been.
It's been dwindling. It's not been very good.
Right.
It's been low. Yeah.
Yeah.
So given all the inputs that I've given you guys, can maybe you churn this information and think about broad solutions?
So they need to restructure the way that they are taking the year to
Mm-hmm.
give time for full length tests and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. That is one thing that they should do. And then uh,
Anybody else?
Do we provide a end-to-end solution, or do you just want to hear a part of it?
No, no, no. I want you to fully walk me through what your solution is and how you're going to deliver results.
First, we need to find on which subject the percentage is very low.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Somebody wants to continue with the second point. Once you know the subjects which are very low, what will you go? How will you go about it?
We can start off by identifying if it was the cause, like are the teachers the cause, or like is the subject material the cause. And
Mm-hmm.
once
Mm-hmm.
we find out the cost, we can take the steps. Suppose if the material is the cost, the material is too advanced, or if it's not, like let's say that the students aren't receiving it well, we can go
Mm-hmm.
about.
Sorry, you muted yourself, Varun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, no. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can go about asking the students who are like pass the course already, have finished that particular subject. We can ask them which parts we found difficult, and we can take
Mm-hmm.
their inputs and restructure it.
Mm-hmm.
We can do that for the material. If it's the teachers, then can we can get in some external inputs for that as well.
Fair. Very fair point. Any other point ones that you can think you can solve this issue using, or anything else that we need to look at which we are not focusing on right now? Because the students have complained that the teachers don't finish on time, one thing. And second thing, they don't have enough time for tests.
Ma'am, as the core problem revolves around the time and duration of the syllabus, so we
Mm-hmm.
can either increase the school days or the school hours, or we can reduce or structure the syllabus. And the third
Mm-hmm.
option would be like we can explore non-conventional ways like online learning or parallel learning, something like that.
Your first solution is just going to create unnecessary pressure on the students, but okay. Longer school hours, sure.
okay,
Yeah,
first
but
we can
great point. Mm-hmm.
look to other states, see if there's any other states with similar infrastructure, similar teachers, similar everything, but see their results. That is
Mm-hmm.
one thing we. Second thing we can do is we can look to the like school that have continuous assessments, see
Mm-hmm.
when they were given time, how they performed, and
Mm-hmm.
then based on that, if yes they performed well, then we know
Mm-hmm.
that it's not the students' issue; it is the issue of time, what they said. If
Mm-hmm.
they still perform badly, then there needs to be a restructuring of how it's being taught. So if the students who are able to do well in all of the tests that they were given time for, then what you can do is you should be able to somehow restructure the year, see if there's any unnecessary things being taught, or see if
Mm-hmm.
there's things which are being taught to a deeper level, which is not being required for certain topics,
Fair
and
enough.
see the weightage of like how the time is being allocated, reallocate it, and then see how it goes. So that is one thing that we.
Fair enough. Apart from these, student school regulatory angle, any other angle that you would like to look at? Anybody else?
Providing digital materials.
Okay, but not everybody would have access to a tab or a laptop or a smartphone, right? So you would be creating a digital divide if you do that, right?
Ma'am, then we can provide students a small booklet which contains all the highlights of the chapters, and the
Mm-hmm.
teachers can interact with them so
Mm-hmm.
that they can understand the problems in which they were able to, means like when they read all the highlights, they'll get some doubts, So
Mm-hmm.
the teacher can interact with the students
Mm-hmm.
and they can know where they are stuck. Means like the most of the students can't access some certain reason, no, ma'am,
Correct.
and
Correct.
they can know that, and secondarily they can make some questions before the class, and they can interact with the students more and more. When the teacher interacts with most of the students, all will be active, and they can participate in the class as it's like they can participate easily in the class.
Makes sense. Yep.
And some interactive sessions make students to learn faster than normal non-interacting sessions, so it
That's
will be helpful
exactly
for
what we're
them.
doing right now. Yep. Mm-hmm. So, very fair point that the teachers need to indulge more. A slight nudge here to all of you who are still thinking about the solution, because see, no consulting problem will have one solution. There can be many solutions to it. You just need to see which one fits the best here and which one is actually doable, implementable, right? So think about, say, there are teachers who are not able to finish on time, right? What do we do about those teachers? It's the Rajasthan Education Ministry trying to solve this problem of teachers who are not finishing things on time. Any thoughts on that?
Like a
Let's
course should be
say
prepared
Sorry, one
for the
person. Yeah,
a course should be prepared for the teachers to teach them how to teach, how to structure their time, how to, because evidently they know their subject, they have whatever degree that they have, but then the way that they are segregating their time is not efficient. So
hmm,
there will be teachers who are more experienced in that aspect who will be able to guide them better. So maybe
fair
they
point.
could also.
Fair point. Yeah, point taken. Somebody else who was saying something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that let's say the scenario is such that the teachers, not maintaining proper. I mean, she's not present in the school enough, and she's taking a lot of leaves, and that may
Mm-hmm.
be one of the reasons why the pace is getting slow because students are getting too many free periods. Then in
Very
that
valid
case,
point. Mm-hmm.
the ministry can do something about it.
And what is that something? You just can't leave it at ministry should do something. You need
Like
to tell
I
them
would
what to do.
say, that'll be policy making. So you need to enforce a certain pay cut. Let's say a teacher takes too many leaves. So proper leave structure that is already there in many organizations can be done for
Mm-hmm.
the school as well.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Very
if
valid
you
point.
want me to give an example, then I can,
No, no,
or
no.
I think
All good, all good, all good. Uh, See, this is the whole point of having a discussion and coming to an answer, right? As to what exactly needs to be done. And you can't give a generic, answer which doesn't have an end point. Like if I just say introduce a policy, government will be like, okay, what policy? So you need to be very specific about what you're saying. Consulting is all about using very tactical words, very sharp words, and then conveying whatever is to be conveyed, right? Anybody else has any inputs, or would you like me to think how I have thought about this problem? Might be little high level. You guys have gone in too much depth, but let me know. Any other thoughts, or we can just go about it.
Ma'am, we can
Ma'am,
introduce biometric systems so that the teachers can enter the entries when they were attending the classes,
Mm-hmm.
so that they can be noted every time. Means like when they go to the class, they can
Got it. Mm-hmm.
insert the input and where when they are leaving, and they
Mm-hmm.
can scan it again so that
Makes
the
sense.
government can also know all the attendance of the teachers, right? So it
Exactly.
will be.
No proxies at all. Yep. Sorry, Harsh, Vardhan, you were saying something.
Ma'am, that's it, ma'am.
Ah, okay. Aman, you were also saying something. Sorry.
Ma'am, I have a short-term and one long-term solution which we can implement. The
Mm-hmm.
short-term is maybe we can restructure the courses in such a way that high priority topics come in the start and the low priority topics come in the end. So even if the teacher is not able to complete the syllabus, the impact will be much less compared to our current scenario. And a
Mm-hmm.
another long-term solution, which I think we can implement, is introduction of bridge courses in the curriculum.
Sorry, introduction of.
Introduction of bridge courses. So uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think an area in which a teacher devotes a lot of time is clearing up the basics. So bridge
Mm-hmm.
courses will help the students to clear the basics. So yeah.
Perfect. Yep, yep. Very valid point. And just to call out, I love the way how you segregated the solutions into two buckets, like what you can do immediately, a short term, and what will come eventually. Maybe next year you'll not see the result of it, but maybe 5 years down the line, this will definitely give you results. That's exactly the approach was beautiful. Unless anybody else has any inputs, I would love to show you how I thought about it and feel free to just jump on it and tell me, oh no, this was not the way it's supposed to be done. Um, Yep, bring it real quick. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, it's visible, ma'am.
Okay, ta-da. This was my approach. So I have to improve the state board results. This is technically how you crack any case because this gives logic to our logical brain, right? This has a flow, has some sort of pattern to it, and it's not just a paragraph written, right? So I have to improve the state board results. I'm going from left to right, which means I have to improve the pass percentage. So there are three people involved here. There are government and there are schools and there are the end consumers, which can be the students and the parents. This approach of dividing into who can increase this pass percentage is called stakeholder management. Who are the stakeholders involved in this process? So there are three stakeholders: government, school, and the students slash parents. Let's talk about government. Since there is an issue on the teacher side also, so there has to be some sort of monitoring to be done from the government side, which was very good point there about biometric, very good point about pay cuts. So there has to be a monitoring team, and then also the government can also push the students to perform better by saying if you get, say, a cutoff, say 60% or 70%, you will get scholarship waiver in whatever next you study within the state, right? So you are incentivizing both the teachers as well as the students. And they can also maybe make a syllabus completion planner and then ensure the teachers are sticking to it. If they do not, they get a pay cut. If they do not, they get a demotion. They don't get to teach 10 standard again, right? Now let's come to school. How do we think about it? There are principals and teachers involved here. So what the principal can do, they can arrange for, instead of one pre-boards, maybe have two pre-boards. So that full length paper, people will solve more. And for teachers who have not been able to, like the students are complaining, right? Because teachers are not able to do it on time. So you have the names of the teachers. Conduct workshop and training for them. Tell them that, if you don't do this, we might have to demote you or penalize you for doing this. And then let's come to the end consumers, which is the students and the parents. So there are some students who are maybe not able to cope up, which is where the bridge classes and that point came in. So we've discussed every point that you had. All of you have brought all of these points. It's just that it was one here, one there, and it was you're not able to look at it as a whole. Right now, when it's laid down like this, you can look at it as a whole, and it all makes sense to anybody who reads, right? And for parents, see, when we are in 10th and 12th, our parents also have a great sort of involvement in our academics, right? Only in college, maybe you can say that's not there anymore. or is lessened. So you need to involve the parents of this kids as well. Have regular PTMs. Tell them your child is maybe not performing or performing, and push them to do that. So this is typically how you think about a problem, discuss that problem, think about the ways in which you can approach the problem, and then finally structure your solutions. And maybe you can also divide these into short term and long term, like Aman was saying that okay, maybe monitoring team and all government regulations and approvals will take time. So that is maybe long term. While PTMs and two pre-boards can be done immediately. So those are short term, right? So this was my example for how, a case scenario would look like. Of course, it'll be more intense. It'll not be this student case. I took this one because all of you would be able to relate to it. And this one, a typical, if I talk about industry cases, a typical case would be something like say Swiggy or Instamart or Blinkit, all of these quick commerce platforms, they want to increase the revenue that they get from their chocolate section. And how do we go about it? Yeah, makes sense. And with that, I think I'm open to all kinds of questions and suggestions. Sorry, um, anything that you would like to know?
Guys, there's actually a recording going on.
Like I don't have anything particular to ask, but maybe
Hmm.
you can tell us a bit about your journey of how the civil engineering knowledge may be translated into your consulting journey, maybe something like that.
Yep, great point there actually. So, the thing here was that I at NITT, I was doing civil engineering, and I also did my minors in data analytics. That was my TA, was my minor. So, which is how I landed the job at Thorogood, which was my first exposure to consulting. It was very data driven and tech consulting, but I knew what a client facing role maybe looks like, right? And how it goes, and what do you expect, what to expect, what not to expect, things like that. Now, coming to after joining Bain, how has my civil engineering knowledge helped me? Is so I'll tell you, there was this one particular case that we were doing, which was for a renewable energy uh, player in the market. They do solar farms, wind farms, hydro, and which is all that you learn in hydro. Is anybody from civil engineering, hydro subjects, right? So you will be able to understand that industry faster than others. Say somebody from commerce background is helping you on that case, they will take forever to understand what exactly goes, what is kinetic to potential to kinetic energy, just how water falls and all of that, right? So, but you understand the basics of that industry, maybe top little better than compared to the others. So you get little edge there. But at the same side, you can also be put up in a finance case, say for a private equity firm, wherein I don't have any idea about finance, where maybe a CA or a BCom graduate will do better than me. So somehow or the other, your undergrad study definitely helps you. And that is how civil engineering was very, very, very relevant for me in this particular case that I did. Sorry, I see a question in the chat. How no experience in this to prepare when it is possible to get a job from consulting? There are people who have gotten into Bain. They first enter into the analyst wing of it, which is VCN. And from there, they transition, say, 18 months into the company, they transition to the consulting side. So, yes, you can enter into consulting directly from BTech. You need to be aware of when the openings are. I don't know if Bain comes to hire on campus. I'm not sure about the current status. But there were a lot of people in my batch who directly went after BTech to Bain.
May I know how you manage your job with CAT preparation during the times of grinding for CAT
Mm-hmm.
exams.
Yep,
So
yep.
we can also do the same after our jobs.
Yep, yep. If any of you are planning to do an MBA, my 2 cents there would be do not do an MBA without a job experience. At least have 6 months to 1 year of job experience so that you know what is out there and then only go for an MBA, right? That is my personal opinion. But yeah, feel free to write cat and enter right away. No, no issues. So, how I manage my cat prep alongside job is I I started around April and May back in 2022. And then I solved a lot of cat papers. And that initially told me what are my weak points, like wherein I need to work on, which topics I do not know. And post that, I started every weekend or after work. I used to log off around 6:37 in the evening. Post that 1 hour daily, I used to give to one topic. Or there are a lot of test preparation, CAT preparation apps like Career Launcher, CrackQ, all of that. So they post just like how you have Wordle and crosswords, every day Wordle, every day crosswords, right? They post every day 5 CAT questions, every day 10 CAT questions. Even if you're like sitting idle, you can just solve those questions and maintain a leaderboard sorts, and you'll be in touch with the topics. So if you take it as it's not, you don't need JE level of dedication for this. You just need to be fast and accurate in whatever you're solving. That's all. Plus weekends you have. So weekends you can give like solid 6 hours per day and then go about it. But yeah, do not go for it without 6 months of work. It's because after work it really adds value.
And ma'am, like, did you prepare for CAT during your fourth year, or like did you start preparing after you finished?
I started preparing after I started my job. Fourth year I was
Would you
COVID.
suggest like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, would you suggest someone to start preparing in their fourth year, or like put it off
No,
for after that?
no, 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 no. If you're just preparing, for sure, prepare. I gave CAT in 2020 as well. It's just that I didn't want to enter MBA college immediately. I had gotten the job, so I was like, okay, I want to do the job and then go for MBA. So, but I'd given CAT in 2020, 2020 during COVID as well as during 2022. So, for sure, prepare, give the exam also. If you have a good percentile, then it's a matter of choice. No, you can take it, you don't take it. It's better
Okay,
to have that choice rather than not having that choice.
okay, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, how AI, Adarsh is asking, how is AI changing this domain? How is AI changing this domain? AI is helping a lot. See, for any problem to be formulated, you need to have a lot of research done, right? And with all the OpenAI platforms that you have, ChatGPT, Perplexity, you can do the research real quick. So the timeline in which you come to the solution has reduced with the help of AI, but it still hallucinates, so you can't trust it. Sorry, I have heard that most associate consultants get burnout after 2 years of experience and switch to other domain. Is that true? Also, I've heard that there is intense competition between associates because only small number of people get promoted. Oh, wow. Uh, uh, Most associate consultants get burnout after 2 years. It's also a way of looking at it. On some days, you really feel like, oh, that's been a long day, like 10 hours, 14 hours. But on some days, you're really like totally free. So I haven't faced the burnout yet. I'll tell you when I'm burnt out. Um, Next is how relevant is a higher degree like MTech or PhD to get into the field of consulting, as in technical or specific consulting, or taking a position after bachelor leads to progress. I'm not very sure about MTech and PhD because none of my peers who are there with me right now are in hold any of these degrees. A lot of them do have MBA though. And so, how technically does a PhD or MTech land up in consulting is maybe after 5, 10 years of serving their own industry. They become experts of that particular industry, and that is when they get hired into these firms as an experts, that particular industry experts, and then they consult the clients. Is consultancy AI proof? What would you mean? Aman, what would you mean by AI proof?
Man, like let's say in future if someone makes a platform which
Mm-hmm,
replicates like a consultant. So instead
mm-hmm,
of me going to a physical consultant, I can just approach the platform and with its ton of databases, he can give me, I
mm-hmm,
think, better inputs, uh,
mm-hmm.
which maybe a human cannot. So, do you think that?
For sure, for
Yeah.
sure. If it's a totally mechanical problem, like say, I need to reduce the cost of manufacturing this product by 10 rupees, and the resources that you're putting in that product, everything is very, very data driven. For sure, it can help you with that. But there are soft parameters as to who is operating those machines, humans. How are they feeling? Maybe it's them who are not able to operate it at full efficiency, which is why you're facing the issue, right? This as of now with ChatGPT 5, you can't um, understand the soft parameter there. Maybe the hard parameters, all the data parameters, you'll be able to easily gather and suggest solutions for. But how will it cater to the soft ones unless you talk to the people, go there and talk? Do I make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am, that was a unique answer.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have any other question?
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, as you are also an engineer, at what point of time you came to know that you want to go in this consulting field? Because as I am also a third year mechanical engineer, but still
Mm-hmm.
now I don't know in which field I should go. I don't have such interest. As I see peers around myself, they say that I have this interest or not, but most people are just making it up to show that they know what their interest is. But truly, they don't know what their interest is. So
See,
please tell me.
just accept the fact that you are a dynamic person. You will change with time. Maybe 3 years, 4 years before, if you had asked me, I didn't even know what consulting was. So I never could have imagined that I could come here. So give yourself that playroom to explore things. So only after I got into the job and I saw tech consulting, what consulting means, then I got to know because I was talking to clients who were telling me about what is their problem and how can I help them solve that problem. Though it was all coded and everything, but still. So that was my first introduction to it. And I was like, I actually like talking to clients and then, them explaining their issue to me and then me racking my brains to understand, okay, now this person has this problem. How do I solve it? It's very similar to you solving your friend's problem, right? On campus. Somebody comes to you, oh dude, I can't figure this out. Can you help me? Since you're a mechanical engineer, any lathe design or anything that's there which the other person doesn't know, of course you're gonna help. So if you like doing that or being invested in somebody's problem, then maybe you could give it a shot. But don't have this feeling in yourself that I don't know what I want to do because some part of me also doesn't know what I want to do, say 5 years down the line. So it's okay to be go with the flow. Can you explain tech consulting? Is it similar to product tech manager? No, tech consulting is more about you create a platform for somebody. Say using AWS or Azure, you create a solution for somebody and they use it for their retail management, wherein they feed all the sales data, you process it for them, and then you give them dashboards. Say, I don't know if you guys would have heard about Power BI, Tableau. These are new data visualization tools. So on that, you basically fancy charts. You show them fancy charts with which they can see how much sales have grown, how much, subscriptions have grown, something like that. So that's tech consulting. That how do I use technology to help them um, find gaps in their process or data and bridge that. That's all. Product management is totally different. It's about you create a product from scratch, say an app for somebody, and it might be for a wider audience and not specific client. Okay. Thank you for interacting. If we don't have any other questions, I think Shri Krishna, we're good to close.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for hosting the session. It was really great from our side. Like we had a great learning and we got to know how to approach a problem and what are the difficulties and the structure of the case which we need to
Mm-hmm.
follow in the interview processes. Thank you so much
Mm-hmm.
for sharing your knowledge. So, like, yes, hope to see a lot of consultants from our batch. who joined
For
being
sure.
info, and thank you. The
For sure.
knowledge is here.
No worries. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.